Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Co-op Podcast. I'm your host, Richard Billy Jr., and today I'm joined by Mr. Gary A. Swaby. How's it going, Gary?
It's going very good. Thank you very much. And I must apologize to, all the listeners out there who were looking forward to hearing the return of the show because I did not know that this was the week that the clocks went forward in America, because in the UK that happens at the end of March, but for you guys it happens like mid-March, and I completely forgot, so it's my fault that we're a bit late, but at least we are here and we are back, so that's the main thing.
Yes, and I do have a comment to make on that, but before I do that, I also would like to welcome our other guest to the show, Mr. Carl Daniel. How's it going, Carl?
Greetings, greetings. I am very good. Thank you for having me once again. I thought I was banned since I was banned from the chat last time I came. But I'm glad that's been lifted.
You can blame Ed for that one.
Yeah, it's speaking of Edward, Edward might be on the show today. I don't know because he's doing something he shouldn't be doing, jumping on the show while he's at work. So, how's it going, Ed?
It's good to be back. You know, y'all trying to shut me down because we used to record on Fridays, but, everybody didn't like the pro Xbox talk. So,
I'm here to represent Xbox on your behalf.
All right. Thank you, my brother.
Anytime. If there's one thing I love, it's my Xbox. So.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah. Oh, I got that also.
Don't we all?
Yeah. We'll see about that. But allow me to just say very briefly, yeah, I do apologize. We didn't have a show last week. I actually was under the weather, had a really bad sinus infection, so I was in no condition to record the show last week. So do apologize, but as Gary said, we are back. So there definitely are a lot of topics to get into this week. But before we do that, I'm going to let you all know what we have been playing and what we have been up to. So I'm going to go to you first, Carl. How about you let us know what you've been playing and what you've been up to?
I've been playing about 8 hours a day of Word with Friends, and that's about it, to be honest. But I am excited for Mortal Kombat. I've been watching a lot of like the Kombat casts and trailers, and I'm excited for things that's upcoming, but there's nothing that's out now that's really doing it for me.
No, I'm pretty sure that Gary will not like to hear that, since I heard that he loves Anthem. He can't stop playing it 24/7, so he's probably very offended to hear that right now.
He paid enough money for it, so I hope so.
Yes. How about you, Edward? What have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Well, since the last time I was on the co-op before I was banned, I finished a couple of games. I finally got to play Wolfenstein: A New Order. I know I'm late on that. I've been kind of hitting the backlog these past few months that there's really nothing going on. But yeah, I don't know why. I just thought to check that out. It was all right. It's kind of a like a mid-tier game, like a B-level, C-level game. Kind of just ran through it. It's all right. I'm gonna check out the second one.
And you've been playing the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start I'm not sure if I need to play that New Blood one. I think I'm just gonna skip it.
Yeah, you can skip that.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because then you get burned out when you play like so many of the same series of games. Like you just kind of burn out. But other than Wolfenstein, I finally beat the game of last month, Crackdown 3. I thought it was a phenomenal game.
No, I would have to agree with Ed there.
Interesting.
I wouldn't say it was game of the year, but it's definitely top 2.
It's too early, but it's in there.
So just so people understand, when you say phenomenal, you mean phenomenal, or you mean phenomenally bad?
I mean, it's phenomenally trash. Nah, but like for real, I don't know why this game was delayed for 5 years. Like, there's this game's whack as fuck. Like, there's really no missions exactly. You kind of just you're in an open world map. You kind of stumble upon little territories where the enemy has that territory on lock. So you kind of just have to do whatever it is to take over that territory, whether it be like hacking their computers or uh, destroying like a propaganda building or whatever. But it's like really not missions. Like there's nobody there to give you a mission. There's no like you're an agent, but there's no commander there to be like, hey, go do this. It's just kind of free roam and just blow up shit. And I mean, I did that. I mean, the achievements kept me entertained, so I got through it, but it was it was nothing like to wait all these years for. And I personally wasn't waiting for it. I knew it was going to be kind of like mid-tier game. Uh, and I never really cared for Crackdown. I never really played either of the first two. But yeah, that's Crackdown, man.
I thought it was crack.
Nah, that was trash. But oh yeah, and then other than that, just now I started Resident Evil 7, and that game's fucking scary. Like, and I don't mean like scary like I'm super scared, but me personally, I hate jump scares. Like I hate that shit in movies. I hate that shit in real life. Like
I
don't
was
fucking
playing
pop
that
up
on
behind me.
VR, and on VR, that is honestly the scariest thing I've ever done in my
I
life.
can only fucking imagine how it is in VR because I thought that while I was playing it on Xbox. I'm like, man, if I was on VR, I would not play this because I
I
hate
couldn't
jump
finish it.
scares, man. But yeah, I'm into it and it's all right. I'm kind of not liking like the whole shooting aspect of it. I feel like it's kind of slowish as of a shooter, but I don't really think I'm kind of early still in the game, but I don't think this game really is much of a shooter from what I'm getting so far. But I don't know. I'll try to get through it real quickly because I don't think it's that long of a game. But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Let me just say, I saw like a short spoof video of Resident Evil that had like Thomas the Tank Engine as like a zombie or something, and
I saw that.
that was scary. So like I can't imagine what the actual game is like.
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious. They use him in the place of Mr. X as the person that you have to watch out for in Resident Evil 2. So yeah, I did see that video and I couldn't stop laughing either. That's cool. How about you go
And
next, Gary?
hold on,
Is there
real
one?
quick. I have Anthem, so I'm waiting for Rich and Fergus Mills. Fergus, if you're out there, I'm ready for some Anthem, bro.
All right. Well, I will try and pick up Anthem. I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm pretty sure that because the review scores are so horrible, the price is a lot lower now. So I will look into getting that this in the next few days.
Either that or wait for the Division, because I've been watching some Division trailers lately, and I'm kind of sold on that game.
Oh yeah, the Division definitely next Friday. We're gonna be talking about that for sure on the next show because I know Gary pre-ordered it. I also will be getting it. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that next week. Okay, so Gary, how about you let us know what you've been playing and what you've been up to?
Yeah, so I mean it's been a busy week for me, doing a lot of running around and working and stuff. But I managed to fit in a few things, nothing noteworthy. Of course, Overwatch, I don't even need to say that anymore. That's just a given. Um, I also played some Apex Legends, just because like I saw some people streaming it and stuff, and um, shouts to Max Moller, who's he used to be part of this show, but I saw his stream and it kind of made me want to play it again. So I got back into that because there's still a lot I need to learn about that game, like in terms of the abilities and the weapons and stuff. But if you happen to get a good team on that game, it can be fun. So I want to give that game some more attention, but we'll see because Division's coming out, and that's going to take up a lot of time as well.
It's going to take up a lot of space on your hard drive as well if you have PS4.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're
PS4.
right. You're right about that.
Definitely PC, but yeah. As for Anthem, I didn't play it as much this week, and to be honest, I didn't miss it. So that's probably not a good sign. That's probably a telling sign. I don't think the game is bad though. Like I don't think it's as bad as people are making out. I just think it's an average game. Like the story isn't great at all. There's nothing captivating about the story, but the actual gameplay and like customizing your javelin and stuff, I like that aspect of it. I do wish that there was more loot that you could get and just more meaningful loot. Like, because one of the things I remember in Destiny is I used to actually be excited to get like a new gun and stuff. But in this game, it's not so much. You get a lot of duplicates and but I haven't gotten to the end game. So the thing is with these looter shooter games, sometimes the end game can completely change the entire game. So I don't know if, maybe it's a lot better once you get to the end game or not. But I don't know, the Division is coming and I'm probably going to be playing that a lot more than Anthem. And see, my initial plan was to finish Anthem before Division 2 came out, so then I can just transition and move on to the Division 2. But I haven't quite got to beating Anthem yet, and I really don't know if I'm going to go back to it once I start playing the Division 2. So Carl will laugh at me, but that might have been some money wasted right there. But who knows?
I mean, you spend so much money on rap battles, so
exactly.
It's about time you wasted your money on games instead.
Exactly. I've spent like £10,000 on battle rap in the past 2 years. So.
Wow, that is way too much money right there. Getting spent on that.
That's an exaggeration, by the way, but yeah.
I just want to ask something real quick before I talk about what I've been playing. So in regards to Anthem, I have to ask this question: have you been playing with anybody else? Because I feel if you play Anthem by yourself, then that you probably get tired of that real quick.
Yeah, I played with Lesh, so we had fun playing that. It is actually a lot better if you play with someone.
Yeah.
It can be boring a bit if you play by yourself. I was meant to play with Dro, but I don't know. I just haven't been on Origin these past couple of days, so I'm not sure if he got further into the game or not.
Interesting. Okay. So I definitely have to check it out to see, see how horrible it is or how good it is or whatever. So hopefully next week I'll get a chance to try it out. But
so is this game on EA Origins?
Yeah, it's on Origin.
I might check it out.
You've got Premiere, right?
I have the basic one.
Okay. So yeah.
But the game is on sale in the UK, I believe, for you guys. I don't know if it's on sale here. So
yeah,
I don't think they should be selling the game at all.
That's fair to say.
Oh, I was gonna say more, but we have a topic about Anthem later, so I'll wait till we get to that.
Okay. Can we save that to last so I can leave early?
Yeah. We'll address that later, like much later. So as for me, very quickly, what I've been playing, only 2 games. One game, I only go back to this game because I'm trying to see what the community creations are looking like, and that is, of course,
Little Big Planet.
We'll say what? Little Big Planet. Oh no. Gary's favorite game, WWE 2K19. I like I said, I'm only going on there because I want to see what the community creations are, because those are the real people who actually know how to create stuff for the game. This little DLC practice that 2K has is absolute trash.
Have they been supporting the game, updating and?
They have not been supporting the game. You know, they did the DLC. You know, Ricochet and a few of the other wrestlers, but once that DLC comes out, there isn't anything else that they do for that game on a regular basis, which I don't really understand.
I don't know why they don't just update every couple of months, just update some themes and crowd reactions and haircuts and just general basic things.
They definitely could do that, but you raise a good question. Why? And I don't know the answer to that. I would say because 2K doesn't care. Once the game gets released, that's it. You'd be lucky if there is an update. Whereas games like Red Dead Redemption and NBA 2K, which are still under the exact same publisher, they always get updates. So I really don't get it. But yeah. I was on there because, you know, with WrestleMania coming up, I wanted to see what stuff people were creating. And the creations are good. It's just that the game is still horrible. Glitches, all types of stuff is still in the game. So that makes it a very...
I will say, though, when I played it with Gary and Rams, we did have a lot of fun. The glitches make the game what it is.
Y'all played the Royal Rumble, right?
It was amazing.
That's one of the things I look forward to whenever I visit Carl now.
I think without the glitches, it wouldn't be as fun from a messing about with friends standpoint.
Y'all playing on PS4 when you play the game?
I think so.
Or Xbox?
It was on PC, wasn't it?
I think PS4.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure they're going to announce the next game soon.
But now that you mentioned it, I just want to remind everyone that WWE 2K18 was just released on PlayStation Now. So if you haven't played that,
I had no idea about that. Yeah, that's good for those that are interested. So definitely worth checking out.
If you want a game that's 2 years out of date, then
I actually had the urge to play SmackDown 1 again recently, but I don't know how to play it. Like, I don't know what platform it's on.
It's on PlayStation Classic Mini.
I
might have to get that now.
I saw it for 30 quid the other day. So, to be honest, that's not a bad deal. The PlayStation Mini. Now that you can pretty much just put a USB in it and have as many games as you like, it's not a bad console. I think it gets a lot of unnecessary hate.
For £30, I would probably get that.
Well, yeah, it's a lot cheaper now than what it was when it came out for the holidays. So that's definitely more enticing, I think, now. We'll see. So yeah, moving on quickly. The other game that I did start playing, I started playing this last night. So I'm only, I want to say, about 90 minutes in. I started playing Far Cry New Dawn, and as someone that played Far Cry 5 last year and reviewed it, this game pretty much is like an alternative version of what happened. I played Far Cry 5 last year, so it takes place, I think it's about 17 years after Far Cry 5. You know, a lot of characters, they've passed on or they didn't make it. Or in the case of with Far Cry, you know, the dog Boomer who was in Far Cry 5, obviously the dog did not survive. There's another dog they have in there. But I started playing this game so I could see how different it was. They have the way that it looks, because it's more like an apocalyptic type of setting. The way it looks to me, obviously, it's like the way they have been portraying some of the enemies in Rage 2. But I just want to be very clear. This is not Rage 2. Some of the survival elements remind me a little bit of Fallout 76. However, they are significantly better than Fallout 76. Like crafting weapons and stuff like that. It just feels like it's a lot better for this type of game. But what I played so far, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I mean, like I said, I'm very early in, so there's not really too much to see. I did notice that some of the characters that I dealt with in Far Cry 5, like they have offspring now. So, like Nick Rye has a daughter who you actually work with in the game. She was like, has to be at least 18 years old now in this game. So there are some interesting elements to it. I'm still curious to go back and see what happened to some of the other characters that I've met in the previous game, where they are at right now. But yeah, pretty much the same formula as Far Cry 5. Just it takes place in a different, a lot further along in time. It's the same setting, and then there's more emphasis on crafting weapons, vehicles, so on and so forth. So far, I would say it's a pretty cool experience for me. I still think Far Cry 5 was a better game in terms of how they handled a lot of the aspects of it. But again, I'm very early in this game, so we'll see what I think once I had more time to actually play it. But yeah, if you enjoyed Far Cry, if you never checked out Far Cry 5, I still would recommend you check it out if you are interested in it. And as for this game is only $40. So if you want to pick it up for cheap, you can. I believe there's a bundle right now with it with Far Cry 5, and that's probably the best thing to go with because that's cheaper price for both games combined in one package. But so far so good. So we'll see how I feel about it next week. And on that note, let's get into the topics of all the news from this past week. So right off the top, I'm going to get into this topic because I believe, Gary, you have finally seen this trailer. I believe everybody in this chat, aside from Gary, has already seen the trailer. Of course, I'm talking about the Mortal Kombat 11 story trailer. So I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on what you thought about the trailer. Did it make you more excited for the game, or are you just angry because certain characters weren't in the trailer but could still end up in the game? So I'm going to go to you first, Gary, since you obviously said that you're not excited for Mortal Kombat 11. So yeah, I got to put you on the spot before anyone else.
Yeah. So before we recorded this show, I saw the trailer because I didn't get a chance to see it yet. I felt nothing. I mean, I'm not really a trailer person anymore, to be honest. Like, trailers don't get me excited that much. Once I saw the initial trailer with the 21 Savage.
Let's not talk about that.
That song was fire, though, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, once I saw the initial trailer, I was already like, oh, cool, new Mortal Kombat, I'm probably gonna get that. So I was already sold then. This story trailer, like, I'm not a fan of story trailers because I'm the type of person who just, like, I want to get into the story when I get the game. Like, I don't need a story trailer because I don't care until I have the game, kind of thing. So it didn't do anything for me. One of the things I am most upset about is that there's no Melina. So, she's like my main on Mortal Kombat. But still, I'll get it just because, we're so competitive here at the Koalition and we've had wars on that game in the past. So it's like mandatory that I have to get it just so I can beat Carl.
You're definitely going to get it. Don't worry.
But yeah, I mean, the trailer did nothing for me and I'm not super excited for the game. But I will end up with the game at some point. So that's just my stance on it. What about you guys, though? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, let's go to you next, Carl.
The trailer itself, it just seemed like dumb fun. I didn't get a lot out of it, but I'm really excited for the game itself. I think it's good that they're not taking themselves that seriously, because maybe MKX got a bit too serious and caught up with the Combat Kids. And so this looks better than that story, which I didn't like, but the game itself looks amazing. Everything I've seen from the game looks like an improvement over MKX, which was probably my favorite game of this generation. So I'm excited for the game itself. I'm worried about this customization system because I feel like this game is primed for loot boxes and microtransactions.
Yeah.
And I don't trust Warner Brothers to do right by their fans. Last time they sold fatalities. So I could see them selling little outfits and kind of ruining the game that way, but the actual fighting system seems really good this year. So I'm excited for that.
I don't know if this is confirmed yet, but you know those the customization. So like, let's say you add something to a character, does it like enhance their stats and like how much damage they do and stuff like that?
Not the damage. You can customize the moves, so you can have like different loadouts, kind of. So you know, like MKX had 3 variations.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can create your own variations this time. So you can say, I want this variation to have these 4 moves, and then another variation to have these moves. But I don't believe the outfits are connected to that.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds okay.
But I feel like they're just going to sell little pieces of outfits as like loot boxes and microtransactions, which hasn't been confirmed, but it's hard to get excited until I know exactly how that system works.
Yeah, I mean, if the microtransactions are strictly cosmetic, I don't mind that as much, because then at least it's like, okay, this doesn't affect the game.
For me, I mind because I just like to spend. If I have to spend £100 up front and get everything, I would rather do that.
Yeah, that's
I don't want them to keep adding like daily, you know, like the Fortnite style daily costumes, and you have to end up spending £5 here, £5 there.
Yeah.
I would rather just pay up front and get a season pass and have everything. But we'll see how that goes. And I'm not happy about no Kitana yet. They still haven't shown her, but I'm sure she'll be in the game since she was alive at the end of MKX. Melina, I don't really care about.
Do you think there'll be DLC in the future or something?
Oh, of course. Yes. You talking about the character DLC?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of characters in MKX that we all thought would be DLC because they were playable in the story. Well, not playable, but you fight against them in the story mode, like Rain and Baraka. So they had models for them and they had moves and everything. So it just made sense that they would be DLC, but they were never released. So I don't know. NetherRealms aren't shy about leaving characters out, especially key characters. So I don't. It's a bit too early to say. They'll probably just have 6 horror movie characters instead.
I just want my Melina, man.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you're probably going to get a lot of these characters because the whole storyline is about a time travel, type of stuff. So I'm pretty sure they're going to use that as a way to try to get in as many characters as possible. So Melina might make a return.
I think it's based on the last game, she might be in the story, but still not in the actual game.
Yeah, that's true too. Mm-hmm.
I think she can sit this one out. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Well, I know if she's not in it, Gary's not getting the game. Apparently, so
he loves Mila.
I mean, that's one of the things making me not want to rush to get it, but I will buy it. Like, I just don't know when. I don't know if I'll have it like day one, but we'll see.
Day one purchase. This is a day one purchase, Gary. If you are a fighting game fan or Mortal Kombat fan in general, yeah,
we'll see. I mean, what versions are you guys buying? Like, I know Rich, you're probably getting a Xbox, right?
I had intended to get Xbox, but I mean, it all depends. It all depends. I may get both at some point in time. We'll see. I mean, we already know Carl is getting on PS4. We know you're getting on PS4. And Ed, I'm pretty sure he will also be getting on Xbox day one.
Of course.
Yeah. So instead of getting you guys to get it on Xbox, I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, I'll make my decision soon.
I'm actually only getting it on Switch.
Oh, Switch. Uh-oh.
So it's on Switch day one?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the same day.
Did they
haven't heard.
Did they edit out the fatalities?
No blood.
You need a blood code.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that. I don't think it's I mean, they know they can't censor that game. I'm just curious to know whether or not it's going to have everything as the other versions, which I don't think it will. But I would love to be wrong about that. So we'll see. So Ed, did you have any thoughts on the trailer?
No, not really. I thought it's cool. Like, I'm already sold on MK. I kind of wish we weren't seeing so much. Like, to me, I can't help myself, so I've been watching everything. But I'd rather not see the fatalities because we all know that, they usually have 1 to 2 fatalities in these games. So if we're already seeing one, then, what else is left? That's how I view it, at least. So I don't know. I guess I'm going to try really hard to go on a blackout on this game from here till release date.
Yeah, I saw a couple of the fatalities. They look very creative. But like Carl said in our group chat, once you see those gimmick ones the first time, like you're probably not gonna do them again every time. So
like that Johnny Cage one, it's horrible.
yeah, I mean it's cool when you first see it, but then after that it's like,
yeah, I don't want to see that again.
Hold on, which Johnny Cage one was this again? Is this the?
It's the one where like he cuts, like they're filming it or whatever.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think that's something that would have been perfect in the story mode. Like have that as a scene rather than a fatality slot, because
that
once you see it once,
old. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it on Mortal Kombat. I don't really have a wish list for characters. I kind of wish they would use more of the characters that they only used once. I know that's kind of like the unpopular opinion, but I feel like if you're gonna create characters, use them more than once.
You want Meat to come back?
Meat.
Yeah, I want Meat. I want Mocap. I want the Ling Mei pause. Mei Ling or whatever her name was from Deception.
You want Cobra? Was that his name? The fake
Su Hao. Yeah, Cobra. Yeah, I mean, I'm Reiko. Like, where's Reiko at?
Reiko was the shit. I want Reiko.
People have been asking for Reiko for like the last 2 games. Like, seriously.
Reiko would get me excited.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they need to use some of these characters and just reuse them. Like, you can reinvent them, even though they were, kind of still new. So I was kind of happy to see, even though they weren't my favorite, I was kind of happy to see Cassie Cage and the Jackie Briggs, because I just don't like them to make one character, like new characters, and just only use them once. Like, incorporate them, like make them fan favorites. Like, they're not. They
should also bring back Kratos.
You gotta, not Kratos. How about a Crackdown agent? Terry
Crews.
I think Terry Crews will come out and say, this game is too offensive. I don't want to be a part of this. So I don't know if that'll work.
He might complain about getting assaulted. So.
Yeah, that might not work. But well, I mean, they're still revealing characters, so maybe some of those will get revealed. We'll have to see about that.
You know who would make a great MK character, but it won't happen because of rivalries and stuff. But
who was that?
Deadpool. He would be like great in Mortal Kombat.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say never, because they are going to have other characters to making cameo appearances, of course, as DLC. So, but we'll see. They will have to pull off some type of thing with Marvel, I guess, for that to work. We'll see. But only thing I wanted to say before we move on to the next topic, I thought the trailer was okay. Also, some of the characters I don't like from Mortal Kombat X. I do not like Kotal Khan, because that character, I recall, is slow as hell when you use him and when you fight against him. So I'm not really
happy. I could have done without him.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not happy to see him return, but I guess for the sake of the story, he had to return. We'll see. But yeah, looking forward to it. So next month, April, definitely going to check that out. And I'm pretty sure we'll be talking about that. Of course, when I found out about that beta date, definitely going to talk about that. Definitely going to get some hands-on time with it. So looking forward to that. So any final thoughts on this topic before we move on to the next?
I'm good.
All right, Gary. I'm actually going to go to you next since you added this in at the last minute. You want us to talk about this Sonic movie that we now know is in development, and we've seen images of how Sonic is supposed to look in the film.
Defend your idol.
So yeah, go ahead, Gary. Start us off with this topic.
Yeah, so this topic was added at the request of Mr. Cole here, but yeah, I mean, they're out to ruin my childhood, man. We all saw the first poster they released, and where's this new picture from? Is there an actual trailer, or is it just like more?
It was someone who was working on the design or the marketing. They put it on basically like their resume somewhere.
Okay, so he put it on his LinkedIn or whatever.
Something like that.
And now
it got picked up from there.
Yeah, and
lives were ruined.
Indeed, I have to say this looks quite terrible. I will work on getting an image up on screen for you guys watching on YouTube once I stop talking. But yeah, this looks terrible.
I think the worst thing about it is they have like the fan edits where all they did was fix the eyes and it looked 10 times better. And it's just amazing that nobody could have done that.
Yeah, like I don't know what they were thinking with this. Like,
I don't know why he's human shaped. I don't know. It looks like cosplay, but even if it was cosplay, it would be terrible cosplay.
It looks like it's from a horror movie. Like he reminds me of Chucky or something. Like Chucky the doll. Like his face. I don't know. It just looks weird.
What is the reason for this existing? What are Sega hoping to get from this?
They want this to be their Detective Pikachu, basically.
Do they know that there's a Mario movie coming out this year?
Yeah, they probably know that too.
That is probably going to be huge.
To answer that question, I think they want to undo all the goodwill that they have gotten from.
They haven't done any goodwill in the past decade.
Well, no. I think Sonic Mania. I guess a lot of people love that game. So
a game that they never made.
That's true.
A game they asked their fans to make for them.
That's true. That's absolutely true. I'm not sure what they hope to gain from this. I do know that Gary definitely wants to see it, though.
No.
Just looking at the posters, I don't think I can watch it. Not even out of curiosity. It's just off-putting. It's horrible to look at. I would not want to look at that face for an hour and a half.
Like at this point, Sega needs to be more protective over Sonic, like because his reputation has been through some real downs, like in the past.
But this is the worst thing. This is the worst Sonic thing I've ever seen. Like people don't like Sonic 2006, but at least you can look at a screenshot of that and say, you know, it looks like Sonic. It might play bad and have bugs and issues, but you can look at it and say, okay, I see what they were going for. But you look at these movie images and you just think, what the hell are they trying to do? It just looks really bad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Like I don't even know what Sega is trying to do with Sonic anymore. Like they bring out like one good Sonic game every 10-year average, and like now this, like they're
hold on. I
destroying this character.
So the games that Sonic had with Mario weren't good either. The Olympic games, I guess, that they had out.
I look at those as Nintendo games, though.
Don't pass those on to us. Those are Sega developed games.
Wait, Sega developed them?
Do you think Nintendo made those?
Okay, well, I don't know, but
Of course, Sega made those.
any game where Sonic is standing next to Mario makes Mario look 10 times more superior. Like this literally is like Jay-Z versus Nas, like how, you know, Jay-Z is now the bigger guy and like he signed Nas after. Like it's like that to me. Like this is very damaging for people like me who came up on the Sega Genesis / Dreamcast. I mean Mega Drive, sorry. Yeah, for people like me, like this is very hard to deal with.
I'm excited to see like the rest of the cast. I'm not gonna lie. Like Tails, you know, Knuckles. If Sonic looks this bad, I'm kind of curious to see how everyone else looks. I don't know how you market this movie.
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of jokes about being fast in the marketing material.
I don't think they can market it with that face. I mean, they must have known it was bad because the only image they've released so far has his face like blacked out. So that tells me they know it looks bad.
Maybe it's like you know, when they first showed the Samsung folding phone and like they did it in the dark and stuff like that, like because they know it doesn't look good. Like they know it doesn't look good yet. And then this thing leaked, so I mean, I don't know if they're working on fixing it or not.
That's an insult to Samsung.
Yeah, we'll see. So Ed, did you have anything you want to say on this Sonic image? Nah. You said hell no.
This is going to be the Captain Marvel of video game movies.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah. All right. So on that note, let's move on to the next topic. Yeah. So this is probably going to be a quick one because I know Gary probably ain't got much to say on this. I know I ain't got much to say on this. But apparently, talking about Nintendo, with the Nintendo Labo, it looks as though Nintendo is now going to experiment with bringing VR to that particular device and to the Nintendo Switch, essentially. So I guess I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on whether or not you care about this news, whether or not it's going to make.
Can I go first?
Yes.
What worries me about this is that Nintendo are still making Labo stuff. Like, I feel like Nintendo's been doing really good, and they kind of finally understand what gamers want, and they're ticking all the right boxes. And they came out with the Labo kits, and I can't blame them for trying, but you know, they tried, it didn't work. I'm not gonna give them shit about it. Then they tried again with some racing steering wheel bullshit, and it's like, okay, Nintendo, you know, it's not working. Let's just move on. And now they've come with VR, which VR itself isn't catching on. So they have a Labo version, which isn't catching on, of VR, which isn't catching on, and they're expecting this to catch on. I don't know.
Yeah.
The only thing that will make this worth it is if it came like bundled with the Sonic movie, and you can watch that in VR.
but wait a minute, like isn't this literally Nintendo ticking the right boxes? Like
yeah,
I don't.
VR.
Do you know how many kids are gonna be running around with this, and their Switch just falls out from their face and smashes on the floor, and they're gonna be distraught. And if they don't have Nintendo Online, then they don't have any cloud saves, and all their data's gone. I don't know. I see this causing more harm than good.
So there's one question I have. So did you actually pick up Nintendo Labo?
I picked up Labo and I read the instructions, and I saw it's going to take me 45 minutes to make a little remote control, and I haven't played it since.
So yeah, I mean I believe that everything you said that pretty much is the issue. But yeah,
the idea itself is not bad. It's just it didn't work.
Yeah,
and I don't like to see them continue something that's not working when they're doing so good.
I think this is a bit like too late. Like this would have been really cool around the time that the Google Cardboard thing was like a popular thing. But
yeah,
now,
this is way too late.
Yeah,
I would rather they bring Netflix to Switch. Just focus on something that's important.
Yeah.
We still don't have music on the main menu, and you're bringing us this VR bullshit.
I agree 100%. So, you have any thoughts on this, Ed? I know you said that you definitely gonna pick up Labo.
Ed wants that box right up to his face.
Yeah, so he passing on that also. You have any thoughts you want to speak on regarding this, Gary?
I mean, this isn't gonna make me buy a Switch any sooner. So I mean, that's.
Wait, while you're here, Gary, is there anything that would make you buy a Switch?
Pokemon.
Are you buying it for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
When the new one drops,
that'll be in a couple of years. I don't know if that Pokemon game is coming this year. I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch that last the one they showed in that direct. That's coming this year.
Yeah, that's coming this year.
Okay, all right. So we'll see if Gary actually follows through and say, "Yeah, you know what? I will pick this up."
Yeah, I'm already saving up, so once it's out, I'm there.
Are you getting Sword or Shield?
I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna do more research, and I'm gonna ask Rams what he's getting. So
I think he's getting Shield.
I'll probably get Sword then.
I'm getting Sword.
Yeah.
Are you excited that it's based in England, or that makes no difference to you?
I mean, it doesn't make much difference to me, but it will be cool to see like how they implement the English aesthetic into the world.
I'm guessing you guys discussed this already, so I don't want to go into it too much. But I was hoping they would take a big departure from this. Kind of looked like every other Pokemon game, just up-resed. And I was hoping they would do more like Breath of the Wild, completely switch things up. No pun intended.
I do want them to like enhance the engine, like kind of remake the engine and like add new textures and visuals to it and stuff like that. Because like this just looks like every other Pokemon game. So I just want them to completely revamp it so it looks like, you know.
I want like a Monster Hunter type game from them.
Yeah.
Pokemon Monster Hunter, where it's completely different.
Yeah, I agree. and on that note as well, where is that Harry Potter game that was leaked like a long time ago?
Well, hold on. Who's working on that game? Warner Brothers?
It was rumored to be what's the guys who made Batman?
Rocksteady,
yeah. It was rumored to be them, but apparently later on they said it's not them.
Rocksteady are being rumored to work on everything.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure whatever that game is going to get revealed at E3, and we'll get into E3 a little bit later because, yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything about whatever Rocksteady is working on. Yeah, that announcement has to be coming soon. It has, so I would assume by E3 we'll know. But the same with that Harry Potter game because I did hear about that, but I ain't heard nothing else since. So,
is there confirmed to be at E3 for this year?
Oh, there is. The real question is it confirmed that people actually should go to E3 of this year? That's the real question that should be asked.
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah. So, but we'll see.
Are you going this year?
I'll tell you what. I'll table that for later on when we get to that topic. We'll see. We'll see. But before we move on, any other thoughts on Nintendo Switch and VR?
Nope. They should have did an actual VR headset.
I don't think we heard your thoughts on it.
My thoughts?
Oh yeah. You didn't hear my thoughts. So I pretty much agree with everything that you had to say. I think Nintendo's been doing an excellent job with the stuff that they're doing now, which is re-releasing stuff that they could not sell well on the Wii U. Newer ports of the same stuff that has already been in development. So I think they should continue doing that, and then re-release and then release newer titles. I don't think they should be focused on VR. And the reason why VR hasn't caught on is because I don't really think that there's been any games that have been killer apps for VR yet. There's been some stuff that has been pretty good, but nothing where it's like, oh, I have to get VR to play this. And I know when we went to PSX the previous year, we were there and we got a chance to see a lot of the games come into PlayStation 4 that were PlayStation VR titles. All of those games still haven't released yet. Some of them came out, but they haven't. Like some of the ones I really think would be a really big deal, they still are not out yet. So I think it's going to take a while for VR to catch on, if it ever does catch on. I understand Nintendo wants to try and jump on all these other things, but there's a reason why Microsoft said no, we're not doing VR, because they know what time it is. So hopefully, for those that love VR, this is something that can catch on for Switch, but I don't really care about it at all, in my personal opinion. But I think Nintendo needs to focus on, like you said, whatever they're doing right now that's working for them, just focus on that and not focus on the VR stuff at all.
When is this coming out, by the way? And do we have pricing for it?
That's a very good question. I haven't heard any official release dates. I do believe that with GDC coming up in about 2 weeks, that'll be when Nintendo will talk about that, talk a little bit more about this. So wait, hold on. April 12th, apparently, was the rumor date.
I think it should be released April 1st.
Hey, that's certainly possible. We'll see. I mean, yeah, they need to talk a lot more about this. Show us more about this at GDC. I would say, because it makes sense for them to talk about it at GDC if it's coming that soon.
I don't think so, because nobody at GDC is going to look at this and say, yes, we want to develop for this cardboard.
No, well, no, hey, listen, you make a good point. I guess it all depends. I mean, the other thing, which I do know, is also going to be talked about at GDC. Google was talking about releasing their own console, and obviously there's no game that I know coming to that console yet. But I mean, I guess it is an opportunity for them to at least announce something, and then they see whether or not people actually come back later and say they want to make stuff on it. But I don't really think Nintendo should be focused on this at all right now, in my personal opinion, because as you said, VR has not really caught on yet. At least to the extent that it's so big of a thing that it's a necessity. I don't think it's there yet. But
to me, this feels like Nintendo being a follower, and up until now they've been so good at leading, and now it feels like they're catching up, which I don't like to see.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100% with that. It definitely does feel that way. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. What you say?
No, this is something that also could have been done with the Wii U, I'm assuming, if they maybe that would have done better over there.
Oh yeah.
That's back when people were actually interested in VR.
I agree. It definitely could have. Definitely could have.
That could have helped the Wii U more than it's going to help the Switch.
But I will say this: if that Pokemon game does become a VR Labo project, I'm pretty sure at that point Gary will say, you know what, maybe I do need to pick this up immediately, day one. I don't even want to think about waiting to pick it up.
I have no interest in the Labo stuff.
He can just use the box that his Switch came in.
Yeah, yeah.
Wouldn't that be dope though? Like if they were like, oh, so the box that your console comes in, you can repurpose it as a VR headset or something. Like that would be cool.
Yeah. Instead, this is going to be like $60, $70. But yeah, we'll see. I look forward to JJ's review. That will let me decide whether I'm going to make my purchase or not.
We'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see what happens with Nintendo. All right, let's move on to. We got a few topics to get into before we get into that E3 topic. So let's get into this next topic. And I picked this story because I had to laugh when I saw the headline on Gary's favorite website, VG247, and that was the fact that this past week, Hideo Kojima gave an update on the game development of Death Stranding. Apparently, he did an interview. And in that interview, he stated that the game is currently behind schedule, although he's not too worried about it because he says that with a game of this size, it naturally is meant to take a long period of time. And that pretty much is the only update that he gave. Now, what I find funny about this is that I assumed the game wasn't on any schedule because we haven't seen damn near anything from this game yet. You know, if Death Stranding is meant to be a cinematic film, then yeah, we've seen a lot of the movie already, but we have not seen any actual gameplay, meaningful gameplay footage yet. So I had already assumed this is going to be a PS5 title. The minute that it was announced, I said, "There's no way in hell this is coming out this generation." So I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this news now that it is behind schedule, and is it a surprise to any of us? And I'm going to go to you first, Gary, as you and your boy Kennedy, huge, massive Metal Gear Solid 5 fans who have been telling me you need to play Metal Gear Solid 5. So what are your thoughts on this news regarding Death Stranding?
Yeah, I mean, you know, even though that statement was written in English, when I read that, I instantly translated it as it's coming on the PS5, so don't hold out for it in 2019. So that's what I read when I saw that. But yeah, this game is definitely a PS5 title. I think it probably makes more sense business wise to, you know, hype this up as one of the big PS5 releases. I do think it will be on both still, like it's going to be cross-platform, but yeah, they're going to sell this as like they're going to promote this as a PS5 game. So I think that's what's going to happen, and we know that, you know, Hideo Kojima likes to take his time with his games.
Really?
Yeah, because with Metal Gear 5, they were teasing us for years, like with that game. So that took a while to come out. And Rich, I have to say, you know, me and Kennedy aren't trying to get you to play specifically Metal Gear Solid 5 because that game is like gameplay wise, it's good, but that second half of the game really let it down. But I would go back and play the originals if you haven't already, like 1, 2, 3. So
I would recommend Metal Gear Survive.
Yes, that game. I know that game is a very, very popular game last year when it released. No, yeah, I mean, I definitely played the other Metal Gear Solid games. With the exception of Survive, I did not play Survive. But I do think that yeah, I mean, this news is not surprising to me at all because even when the game was announced, it's like I see Kojima, you know, he's all over Twitter, going to different places, you know, going to different studios, looking at different things, you know, just relaxing, enjoying life, going to the movies, commenting on movies that he likes. And I thought to myself, and then what's going on with the game? Even when he was showing up at these different shows, all these different award shows and stuff, you know, the Game Awards, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, what is going on with Death Stranding? So,
which game do we get first? This game or Final Fantasy VII?
Oh no, this game definitely coming before Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I
because
I would have put that other way around.
yeah, because I mean, we haven't heard any updates on Final Fantasy VII Remake for a long time.
They're redoing that entire engine, so they're like
they're remaking the remake.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, we're not seeing that for a while.
Yeah, so this news isn't surprising to me. You know, yeah, PS5 title sounds about accurate. If PS5 is coming out next year, then yeah. But that don't mean this game is coming out next year. This game, it may take like another year or so after next year for it to come out. I mean, I don't know, because again, we haven't really seen much of anything. I mean, there was some gameplay at E3 last year. Very underwhelming gameplay, by the way, but that was very minimal.
I think that's what like hurts me the most, is that the game doesn't look fun. So when you're telling me it's not coming out for another 3 years, I don't know how I'm supposed to be excited to wait 3 years to walk around.
Yeah, that's one thing they gotta stop doing. Like, they should not have been letting him promote it and show footage this early if they knew that it was gonna take, you know, a few years to finish. Like, because nothing like that, what they showed last year, that does nothing to help the hype for the game at all. Because that did not look good, basically. So
no. I mean, there are some people out there that they are Kojima, you know, fans, so they will continue to say it looks fantastic. They don't. It's gonna be hard for them to criticize him, but no, we have to keep it real and say, yeah, this game, there isn't no reason to be excited yet. At least not based on what I have seen. So I don't know. How about you, Ed? Are you still around? I'm curious what you have to say about this game.
he just wants to stand next to Hideo again.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wants to do. So you would think he would be defending this. No. But then again, this isn't coming to Xbox, so it's not a reason for him to talk about it. Yeah. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Death Stranding. Maybe we'll get some news at E3. I don't know. Well, oh no, it won't be E3 because Sony won't be at E3, so it'll have to be later this year. So
I hope there's no news anytime soon. Just show me it when it's ready. I don't need to see it until then. I don't need news. I don't need trailers. I don't need anything. Just work on it. I think that's what Square has done pretty good with Final Fantasy VII. They haven't continued to show it. They made the mistake of showing it too early, but now I think the next time we'll see that game is when they're definitely sure that it's coming out. Yeah,
I agree. I agree. I don't think we need to see it anymore. And as far as the Sony exclusives go, we have Days Gone coming out next month, and whatever else is coming out this year. I mean, I don't know what other games they got coming because there's no other news. So, but they don't need to rush any of this other stuff out with Death Stranding. This can wait till next year if need be. So, we'll see. So any final thoughts before we move on to the next topic?
No,
I think that they should have just made PT.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But that looked like such. That game looked so much more interesting. No, I know like there's bullshit legal involved, but I think Kojima and Konami should have just come together and said, "Look, let's just make this game." They don't have to like each other. He could work in a bunker somewhere, just give him money.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
I think everybody would have benefited from that.
I 100% agree, because like this whole Death Stranding promo run basically looks like him trying to recreate.
Instead, we got Metal Gear Survive and Death Stranding. I think everyone would have preferred to get Silent Hills.
For sure.
Well, they got one thing accurate, and that is the title of Death Stranding. Because we are left stranded, wondering what the hell is going on with this game. So yeah, I do commend them for that title. It's a perfect title.
We'll be stranded until we're dead.
Yes, that too. Definitely. All right, so let's move on to the next topic before we get to our main topic for today. And this is something that I'm very curious to hear what all you have to say, but especially Gary, since I believe he is the one that has spent the most time playing Anthem. So according to what we're looking at, all of the way that this game is being rated across Metacritic, across the critical consensus, across pretty much everything, every outlet. There was a report that came out this past week that said that Anthem is now BioWare's lowest rated title, period. So I did figure that, and we also have the news that it has been bricking PS4 consoles. Hopefully they have addressed that issue, because last time I checked, it's still a problem. But we definitely have to talk about this because I know that your boy, I'm not going to put anybody on blast, but I will say, Gary, your boy Hip Hop Gamer has been very vocal about this game, saying, oh, it's a fantastic game. Anthem is. So I want to get your thoughts first and foremost on the fact that it is now being rated as BioWare's lowest rated title, and what you think, whether or not you think BioWare should be proud of this honor, or should they be concerned?
Proud.
I would say at least it's an accolade that this game is going to achieve, because without it, it wouldn't have received any accolades. So at least it has something to brag about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I said before, like I do feel like there's this hate campaign against Anthem. Like, I don't think it's the worst game ever. I mean, if we're talking BioWare's catalog, this would be near the bottom, but their past is associated with high quality, so of course this would be like near the bottom if we're talking BioWare's catalog. But in the grand scheme of things, if we're talking all games, this isn't like a terrible game. Like, this isn't like really, really bad like that, like people were saying. I just feel like a lot of media outlets and a lot of people have this hive mind now, where they just go along with the opinions of, a few huge thought leaders or whatever. Like, they just go along with it, kind of thing. But saying that, Anthem definitely isn't a perfect game, and I feel like Anthem suffers from a lot of EA decision making. I personally believe that the BioWare that we love is still in there somewhere. It's just that a lot of bad business decisions are leading to, things like Mass Effect Andromeda and now, Anthem. Like, if you look at it on a whole, this isn't traditionally the type of game BioWare makes. So I think EA probably wanted them to make a game like this. And, given that this might not have been the choice of game that they wanted to make.
This is what I was going to say. Sorry to cut you off. I feel like this is a game that EA wanted rather than BioWare. Yep. But then, like 2 weeks before the game came out, they put out a game that cannibalized it with Apex Legends. So I don't know what EA was going for on this one.
My our good friend Max Muller had a good theory about that. He said that EA, because they're having a bad year and the tax season is coming up and stuff, like the new business quarter or whatever, they wanted to put out Apex Legends ahead of schedule, just to look more successful in this business year.
But then why didn't they delay Anthem at least for a while, so they can fix the bugs and make a better game, and then just release it in the summer where there's a drought and people are, maybe moved away from Apex a bit?
I agree. Well,
I feel sorry. It's hard not to feel sorry for BioWare, because this doesn't feel like their game.
It's not.
It kind of reminds me what they did with Titanfall and Battlefield.
Yep, because
when
they
they
released
kind of
both. They released those games right close to each other.
and kind of just left Titanfall to die while they hyped up Battlefield. I don't know. The year has 12 months, and you just space your games out a bit. I don't know why they have to release them weeks apart.
Yeah, it's definitely bad business on EA's part. I think considering that this isn't the traditional type of BioWare game, I feel like they did a good job. Like, it's not terrible. It's just that,
It just feels like a game
could have
that's
been a
not
lot
needed.
more.
We have so many other games like this that are better. I don't know why anyone needs to pick up Anthem.
Yeah, and if you want a good looter shooter for cheap, I mean, there's always Warframe, which is free. So
And just before this as well, it's like Destiny was released on like PS Plus, Destiny 2 on PS Plus. So like people are getting a similar game for free. I don't know. It seems like just bad timing all around. And with the game having so many technical problems, it definitely seems like it should have been delayed a few months.
I think Ed has something to say about Anthem.
I just for the last few months before Anthem was gonna drop, I've been saying that this was do or die for BioWare. I don't feel bad for what's happening to them. I don't blame EA either. This is on them. This is totally on them. If I'm anyone at BioWare, anyone listening at BioWare, start applying because I don't think you make it out of this year.
wait,
Oh,
why?
whoa!
I want to know why you think it's their fault.
Because, like, at the end of the day, EA is only doing so much or has so much of an opinion. Like,
EA has complete opinion.
No, because
they make what EA tells them to make.
Who's developing it? And it's not like, come on, bro. Like, this isn't the first game that sucks out of BioWare. Like, they've been consistently whack.
They made that Sonic game on DS.
Let me ask you a question though, Ed. Like, let's say your boss gives you like 20 sheets of requirements of what they want from you, and they only give you a week to do it. Like,
I'm staying out of this topic.
Aren't you going to struggle to make it like perfect?
I don't think that's the case.
And I'm pretty sure if BioWare had their own way, they would have delayed the game because they would probably know that they weren't going to meet deadlines on certain things and it wasn't going to be perfect. But EA are strict and they want their money. They want these games out so they can make money. So
for the sake of this argument, I'll give you that they have little requirements. But at the end of the day, you literally just said that the story is not good. That's on them. EA is not bringing a writer to like, hey, you should what about this alien species? Nah, that's on fucking, I don't know who wrote this game, Casey Hudson or whatever. That's on them.
Yeah, but maybe they didn't have time.
How the game runs, that's on them.
To be honest, like I feel like a lot of the problems with the story are how the game is structured anyway, because the type of game it is, it's like there's no reason for you to even care about the story because the gameplay feels completely disconnected to the story parts.
Also, for all we know, they could have gone to EA and said, we need 6 more months. And EA said, fuck out of here. We're releasing this tomorrow.
That's basically what happened. That's what happened with Apex.
For the sake of argument, I'll let you have that. But you don't think anybody at BioWare feels like, hey man, we're the ones selling this shit. We're the ones we're the ones who are gonna get the blame for it.
If my boss tells me to do something, I'm doing it. That's all I know.
Even though it means your doom?
Kind of.
Your demise? Because I take my word for it. You heard it here first. They won't make it out of 2019.
Ouch.
But you're talking like BioWare has a choice. Like they can be like, oh, I'm not comfortable with this, so I'm not putting it out. Like they don't have a choice in the matter. Like
There's always a choice.
I remember when Fortnite was released and how we all clowned it.
A man must have a code.
This game was delayed for like 5 years. It came out and it was trash, and then they managed to turn that around dramatically. So I wouldn't say
what game?
Fortnite. On the day of release, that game was nothing like it is now. It was a completely different game.
But that's a game made by Epic, produced by, or like, you know.
But I'm saying there's things that Anthem can do to turn it around. It's not dead just yet. But I
think it's over.
Hey, like, let me say one thing.
I think they just need a popular mode that if it catches on, it can change everything. That's all I'm saying. It's not necessarily that it flopped on release, that it's over. I think there's things they can do.
Go free to play.
Yeah, there's things like that.
Like, I agree with Carl because, like, believe it or not, I've heard people say that No Man's Sky is good now.
I wouldn't go that far. don't put my name in that. That's not what I was saying.
Yeah, you co-signed that, bro?
I mean, for all we know, it could be like, but we're not going back to play it. But
I wasn't saying that at all.
For all we know, it could be fire right now.
If that's the ledge that you want to stand on, I think you're on your.
No,
I don't know about that fire part.
I think it's very bad timing for Anthem because you did have Apex Legends and now you have The Division 2, which is basically another looter shooter, and I feel like that game is going to be a big deal. So I think being sandwiched between those two games, I think it's over for Anthem.
And one of the reasons that like I'm really looking forward to The Division 2, it's just like you can compare the way that both of those games, I know they're not the same game, but you just compare what, you know, how each of those games are looking as they release their as they're gearing towards launch. The Division already, I've seen a trailer where they're like detailing, hey, this is gonna come out in spring, this is gonna come out in summer. Like they have a full fucking plan, it seems. And that's why I feel comfortable like saying like, oh, I'm gonna get The Division 2 because I know that their content's coming. It's free. Like I don't know about Anthem, but I think it's free too. But still, I don't feel like Anthem has a clear-cut plan of what you know, the steps that they're gonna take throughout the year to make that game good.
I think because that depends on the sales, whether EA is gonna support it or not.
And that's already a bad thing. Like you don't know if this game's even going to be supported.
Well, the problem with Anthem is that because it wasn't ready on release, like they had to play catch up and issue a lot of patches and fixes and stuff for all the problems. So they're already behind on content and stuff.
It's sad when the best thing about Anthem is that it bricks PS4s. That's the best thing about it.
Uh-oh. Anthem. Well, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we did speak in the past about being worried about BioWare if this game is not a success. So we shall see if Ed's prediction it comes true. Although I don't want it to come true, but hey, if it comes true, it is what it is.
Xbox Game Studios is hiring, guys.
and I'm pretty sure Gary also don't want that to come true because then that means he's not going to get the Dragon Age after they showed that trailer at the Video Game Awards show, that teaser.
We'll get Dragon Age Battle Royale.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. With EA being in control of BioWare, I'm not looking forward to Dragon Age or Mass Effect moving forward because I'm sure EA is going to mess it up somehow.
So you know, now that you said that, let me just make this the perfect segue into the main topic because this is all part of the main topic and it's also part of E3. So it was announced this week that EA Play, you know, they're not going to have a press conference and it's going to be open to the public. And they also said that that's going to be on a first come, first served basis. So that is pretty similar to what they did last year. but no press conference. I thought was interesting because as someone who went to E3 last year and was outside that EA Play press conference, I have to say the press conference that I did watch was complete garbage. So I have to give them a standing ovation for not having a press conference at all, because that show last year was complete trash. So I guess you wanted to ask the question, Gary, because this is going to be happening around the time that E3 is. I guess you wanted to dive deeper into the topic of not E3 going to be the same without EA in a Sony press conference. So how about you be the first one to dive into that topic, Gary?
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, like we already know Sony aren't gonna be at E3, and along with that, there's been like over the years, there's been a lot of companies that have kind of dropped out from the show, or they're just not inside the convention center anymore. So E3 has changed a lot, and slowly it's becoming more of a public event rather than a media event. And with public events, they tend to just be places where you go and you go to the game station, like where the games are set up, and you just play. Like you just go around the convention center sampling games all day. Basically, that's what public video game conventions are about. E3 used to be a media event where you would actually get a lot of breaking news. You would see a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So I think the climate of E3 is completely shifting, and now that things like Twitch and Nintendo Directs and PlayStation PlayStation Experience exist, these companies are just going direct to consumer now. Like if they have a big announcement or something they want to reveal, they want to control that messaging and put it out on their own terms. Like so, I think with these latest stories about Sony not being a part of E3 and now EA not having a press conference, this confirms that this year in particular might be the end of E3 as we know it. Like,
oh, whoa!
Once we get to E3 2020, I think 2020 is going to be a completely different E3 experience.
But to me, that's what made the video game industry unique, is that we have this a very short 2-3 day period where everything is announced at once.
Yeah.
And I love that. Imagine if there was a day where they just announced all.
Yeah, I agree. Like
now it just seems like we don't have that. It's just the same as every other industry. Things get announced when the publisher's ready, and that excitement isn't there anymore. I don't get excited for a Nintendo Direct unless it's happening during E3.
Yeah, I completely agree, because the way it was set up before, it was like
the whole spectacle, the fireworks, we all come together in group chats and we're all excited, and it has that vibe, and I feel like that's dying out.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like it's like for that 1 week of E3, usually like gamers all over the world are just unified. Like we're all on the
It's
same
kind of like
page.
WrestleMania season, man. People just come together for this one event.
Yeah.
Even if they don't really follow the industry throughout the year, they all come together for E3 and be like, okay, this is what's happening.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, this further confirms it. I mean, E3 this year might as well just be the Microsoft show. Like that's pretty much what it is. Like that's the only exciting thing, is the Microsoft press conference. So
are we expecting a new console from them?
I think that would be the best time to reveal it.
Well, I definitely expect an announcement now. The discless Xbox One S, I guess that's going to get revealed before E3. So, but I
haven't heard anything about this. What is it supposed to be?
It's just supposed to be a cheaper alternative to the Xbox One S, where it's discless.
I don't.
So
How does that save money though? Not having a disc. I can't imagine a disc in a new reader is that expensive.
well, that right there is an excellent question that I don't have the answer for. That I'm only reading off what that report said on Windows Central about
it's
it.
going to be like a small USB, not USB, like a HDMI thing that you plug into your TV. Then I can see that. But if it's just smaller and has no disc slot, I don't see the appeal of it.
That's a good question. I'm not sure what the appeal of it is. What I do know is that obviously if they get rid of the disc, you know, I would expect the hard drive to be bigger because you're telling the customer this is we only want you to download games. So that means that hard drive needs to be beefed up.
Unless their focus is going to be on their streaming service. That's
true. Yeah, that's possible. That's very, very possible. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, they haven't announced anything yet. You know, it's supposed to be an announcement that's supposed to be happening. It's supposed to come out before E3, so I don't know when or if that's going to happen.
If they're struggling to sell an Xbox that does have a disc slot, how are they planning on selling one that doesn't?
I guess you know they're going to say, hey, this is a cheaper alternative. And it's funny you mentioned that because I actually got an ad today from GameStop, which says, yes, if you want to trade in your Xbox One, like your regular Xbox One, to get an Xbox One X, they are willing to give you $300. Thought that was interesting. $300 trade-in credit. So
for Xbox One, the launch system.
Yes, in order to get an Xbox One X.
That's actually a really good deal.
Oh yeah. So
I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't take that console for free. So the fact that they're giving you $300 for it.
Oh yeah, it is an incredible deal. So I don't know if they have a similar deal in Europe, but Gary, perhaps you need to consider that. You know.
No, I'm good.
Get yourself an Xbox One X.
I'm fine.
I've been tempted many times to get that console, just because you know like I have a 4K TV, and when you look at a regular Xbox game on that, it just looks bad. But Microsoft gives no incentive to buy Xbox One X if you have a PC, and that kind of bugs me.
That you're right about that, because I know that they announced. Well, we already knew this. They did announce that Halo Infinite game that's going to also be on PC. So a lot of people. There's no need to buy an Xbox One if you have a PC and you want to get the next Halo game. Yeah, great, just do that.
I was playing Crackdown and I thought this will look so much better on an Xbox One X. And I was thinking, like, I was considering it, and then I just remembered I can just download it on my PC.
Yeah,
so that's what I did instead.
That's true, and I'm pretty sure you know. Mod support, that's another thing that PC has that you can't get on the consoles. So.
I don't think no modders are going to spend time on Crackdown 3.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Absolutely. So Ed, do you have any thoughts on this? All right, so the question I want to say, you know, to go to what Gary was saying about, yeah, there's no EA press conference, you know, there's no Sony conference. That's totally fine. You know, you asked me earlier on this particular show, am I going to E3 2019? Right now, I would have to say, right now, it doesn't look like I am going to go because pretty much everything that I can see, I can watch online. We already know when we go to E3, half of the games that you see that you actually want to play, you can't even play at E3 anyway. You know, so I don't really see the reason for going to the show. Obviously, it's great to network. It's great to see our other friends, whether they're people that we know in the industry or who used to work for the Koalition. It's great to go for that reason. But as of right now, I'm not really seeing too many advantages to going this year based off of these announcements. And let me just say right now, EA Play, as I said before, I don't give a damn about that show because I know what we went through last year when we tried to get into that show. And I'm pretty sure that Gary also remembers in previous years when we tried to get into the EA conference that we had problems as well, even though we were already registered for the event. So I don't really care about EA Play. Sony. Sony is probably going to do something else, I would assume, before this year is over. They're going to probably have a PSX or something, so that's fine. But yeah, Microsoft is going to have an excellent E3. I have no doubt about that. But
they'll be the only ones there.
Yeah, they'll be the only ones there. But Bethesda will probably be there too. But I mean, again, all this stuff you can just watch online. You don't think you need to actually be there in person with all the crowd seeing the stuff, even though that stuff is a great feeling, but it does not feel the same when everybody is not there, because going from one show to another was a fun experience. So no, go ahead. What were you saying?
So do you really think Bethesda will be there?
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like Bethesda feels real bad about what happened with Fallout 76.
I feel like they're gonna not want to show their face this year.
Well. My thing is, obviously they have the Wolfenstein game is coming out this year. The other game with the daughters,
Rage 2 is about to drop and flop.
Yeah. Rage 2 was out in May.
That's gonna flop. I can't see them wanting to show their face in public after the year that they had, especially because I don't think they have much to show in terms of new stuff.
Well, hey, they isn't that Starfield game coming out this year or next, Gary?
Is it this year?
We know it's in development. We know Elder Scrolls definitely ain't coming out no time soon. But that Starfield game is in development.
But that can just be at Microsoft's conference. I don't see why they need a whole conference to.
Well, that's true.
If BioWare are having a conference, they definitely need something spectacular.
I think they have Doom coming. Which
Doom. Yeah, Doom.
I don't. Yeah. That doesn't seem like enough for an hour-long conference.
No, you're right. It doesn't seem like it's a lot for that. Doom. I guess an update on Starfield. I don't know what other franchises, what other games they've been working on that are in development.
A bunch of iOS games.
iOS games. So, I don't know. I mean, you raised a good question. I don't know if they're going to be there. I would assume they're going to be there since they've been there ever since they announced.
Can I give my bold E3 prediction?
Yeah.
This is for E3 2020. And
going 2020. So you should forget about 2019.
No, forget about this year. This year's done. We should do our Game of the Awards show now. I feel like we're just gonna start getting things like Discord conferences rather than publishers.
That's a very good.
It's gonna be like Twitch show, Discord, and it's gonna be more of that and less publisher focused. And more catered toward influencers rather than general review sites like IGN.
That is a very, very, very accurate, on the money prediction, I would say, because we already see some of this stuff happening now. And then you mentioned Discord, yes, and Epic Games, since they have their own network now to go right up against Steam. Because we saw that at the Video Game Award show when they announced all these games. Oh, it's exclusive to the Epic store. I said, what? So yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, like Carl raises a good point, because I know for a fact that there's specific Discord groups that are focused on publishers like controlling the flow of information to select media. So like they have media people in their Discord server, and they give them information as soon as they want it to go out, kind of thing. So like everything is going to be more controlled moving forward, and the publishers are going to control when information comes out, instead of it all coming out at this one specific time every year. So
you're saying we're gonna get Discord Con?
Yeah, I mean you have TwitchCon, so I mean yeah, probably it's probably gonna happen. But yeah, like the industry is changing, man. Like it's not the same anymore.
But we went through this before when E3 took like 2 years off, and they had it in a bunch of hotels. So I think maybe this is just that again, where they're taking time off, and then it's going to come back bigger and better than ever. Especially if we're getting new consoles soon. Now is like the end of a generation. There's not much that's going to excite you other than a new console. So this is a good year to take off.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens. But
do you have any game predictions that are like a bold game prediction that we'll see at E3 this year?
E3. Well, that's actually a great question. From any publisher?
Any.
Huh. Let me think about that for a second. Do you have any, Gary or Ed?
Yeah, I think it's about time we see the Avengers game, and that's definitely going to happen after Endgame. So E3
Oh
would be
yeah,
the perfect time. And this
that's a
Harry
great
Potter
one.
game, they need to show that Harry Potter game. So I'm guessing E3.
Where do you think that will show up at E3?
That's a good question. Probably Microsoft.
Really?
I mean, they're going to be the biggest platform this year at E3. So if
Well,
I'm
they
Warner
definitely
Brothers,
gonna have a lot of they're gonna have a lot of heavy announcements. So I'm sure.
yeah, like if I'm Warner Brothers, I would be like, let's put it out on the Microsoft press conference, because that's where it's going to get the biggest eyeballs. So
You think Warner Brothers is making an Avengers game?
no, Square Enix is making the Avengers game.
Oh, okay. What are Warner Brothers doing?
They're doing Harry Potter.
Okay.
The Harry Potter game. So yeah, both those games basically I think are going to be revealed at E3.
That's a good prediction.
About Warner Brothers though, I noticed with Mortal Kombat they left that game very late to announce it. So
yeah, they did.
This could also be a new thing that they're doing. Rather than announcing it at E3, just announce it closer to release.
That's pretty much like that's like what I think Bethesda did that with the Fallout 4, right?
Yeah, Fallout 4.
Where you saw it, and then a couple months later it was out.
But then they also announced a new Elder Scrolls that's not coming out in our lifetime.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, you're right. I know, Gary. Looking forward to that game.
I actually
in a couple of years. In a couple of years.
I actually am looking forward to that. I'm not gonna
lie. So Ed, you have any predictions on E3? Anything that's going to happen?
I predict it's going to be trash.
Oh, whoa.
Yes.
Wait, this
Other
is the
than
guy that's
Xbox.
always telling us we gotta go to E3 and hang out. Like, I'm surprised.
Wait, I just want to go to E3 just to hang out and like go do shit. I don't really want to be like at the show. Because to be honest, like E3 was cool, but it's like I told Rich before, like either you can't play the games you want to play, and then like 2 months later you find out that it's playable at Gamescom, and it's just like, what the fuck? And even the things that we see behind closed doors, they show it like 2 months later at Gamescom, like that's a trailer.
That's true.
So like that's why it's just like, I mean, the best part of going to E3 is just chilling, you know. But I guess one of my predictions would be, and it's kind of a crappy prediction because I predict it every year.
New Forza.
I don't think it's gonna come true. That's a guarantee. But I'm gonna go with a Splinter Cell. It's not gonna happen, but I'm just always faithful about Splinter Cell.
Well, you know, I don't see why it wouldn't happen, because what else is Ubisoft going to announce besides Watch Dogs 3? I think this is definitely. Oh well, yeah, Let's Dance, sure.
I
think
they'll show
Far Cry 6.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 for the 5th time.
That game is definitely not coming out anytime soon.
Nah, that's a next gen game for sure.
They'll still show it though.
Yeah. They'll be like, "Oh, sign into our monkey beta." But
Yeah.
I predict Xbox is gonna have a good showing, man. Like, I'm not being no fanboy, but I think that them knowing that, you know, Sony's not gonna be there and Nintendo don't really fuck with E3 no more, like, they have the whole show to themselves.
Yeah, but if you were going to a party and you knew that no one else is going to be at that party, would you dress up for it?
I mean, people are gonna go to the party, but like, your
Not
biggest
really.
competition ain't going. So, you know.
It's like there's no girls at the party. It's just a bunch of guys.
But this party is being live streamed to the world, so I'm dressing up personally.
I just think the Xbox one is gonna be really cool, and I feel like you can hate all you want, but there's a lot to look forward to in that press conference. There's games and there's announcements. Like, let's not like stop being fanboy for a second. There's like cool announcements. Like, I want to hear more about that, you know, xCloud shit. Like, I wish I was playing Xbox on my phone at work right now.
I mean, after Crackdown, I don't want to hear Microsoft talk about cloud ever again. Like.
Well, that was the Azure bullshit thing, and maybe you know, this was the guinea pig for that stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Somebody, you know, a game has to be the guinea pig for something.
I guess. No, but I do think Microsoft is gonna have an amazing E3 though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think they're gonna go balls to wall.
Well, to be fair, they had an excellent show the last couple of years. So yeah, I expect that, but I want to know how it's going to be different in terms of it being amazing. Is it going? Are they going to like have something that is actually when they announce, oh, and it's out right now? Is it going to be that type of moment or something like that?
Nah. And that, to be honest, so that stuff's not even that amazing. Tell me one game that they've done like that, like any company that was really amazing. Like Unravel 2, like, come on, bro. Like, no thanks. So that whole hype thing, that doesn't exist. I mean, it gets you hyped, like, oh shit, they actually did that. But like, when we think about it, now that we're removed from that stuff, like, that stuff wasn't big.
That's true.
And I feel like as far as like Megaton stuff, well, I mean, we're all kind of looking forward to them talking about, you know, next gen stuff, and I feel like Carl, I don't know why Carl said that the Switch were the leaders or Nintendo were the leaders. They're like far from being the leaders of anything. If anything, in my opinion, the innovation of just gaming and consoles, and when it comes to consoles specifically, is happening on the Microsoft side.
Please explain how. Please explain how.
Because they're doing.
Give him the floor. Let him explain how.
They're doing things.
What are they doing that hasn't been done before?
Game Pass.
That hasn't been done before.
Game Pass has not been done before in the way that they're doing it right now.
It's the same.
You can say all this end guy bullshit or end cut, whatever the fuck that shit was called. That does not compare to Game Pass. And we all know that Xbox is setting Xbox Game Pass to be available anywhere on your TV. You won't even need a console or anything. So
yeah, but Sony did this already. It just didn't.
But they haven't done it.
PlayStation Now is on my TV.
Bro, no. See,
nobody uses it.
I can't argue with somebody who's not gonna, like, you know, give some respect on Xbox's name, bro. Put some respect on it. But
when I turn on my Samsung TV, there's a button that says PlayStation Now. It doesn't mean
nobody uses it. Nobody.
Yeah, but that's not. We're talking about innovation.
Nobody's aware of it.
You're talking about innovation.
Okay, and they're innovating because
innovating is not doing something that's already been done. That's the opposite of
innovating. Is doing something that's whether it's been done or not, you're doing it to the point where people are noticing it. Nobody knows about PlayStation Now. Nobody.
That doesn't make it innovation. Doing something better doesn't.
That's innovation. xCloud, that's innovation.
But what you're failing to realize is the reason why they're bringing it to other services is because the console is not catching on.
Because at this point, it doesn't.
They can't sell a console, so they're trying to sell the games.
No, because they're thinking outside of the box. We're
literally they're thinking outside of the box because people don't want the box.
the whole like, see, that's like, it's like, I feel like Xbox is Kanye West.
Yeah, I agree there.
Kanye is an innovator, and he's always thinking ahead. This nigga was wearing tight jeans, and now then tight jeans became the shit. Look, hold the fuck on. Y'all got me hyped now. Kanye West put out that Adidas fucking clothes with holes in it. How many motherfuckers you done seen with holes in their shirt?
Yeah, Kanye was first.
H&M and all these fucking companies, and they were looking at that motherfucker crazy. And now everybody does it. Like, and that's how I feel about Microsoft. Like, yeah, everybody's talking crazy, like, oh, you're putting this shit on other TVs and whatever. But they're just not thinking consoles no more. That's an old way of thinking. That's 20 years ago. When are we going to innovate from just boxes at home? Like,
yeah, but they're doing this because they're not selling the boxes. That's what the point I'm getting to.
Somebody has to look fucking crazy in order for everybody's eyes to be opened up later and realize, like, oh, that's what they were fucking on. They were 2 steps ahead of us. I just feel like you will see that in the next 5 to 10 years. They're going to change the fucking game.
Uh-oh. So definitely need to just make sure that you timestamp this conversation, Gary, so that we can revisit this later.
We're going to come back in 5 years, and when no one's going to remember what the Xbox One was.
You're like...
Or Game Pass.
Like, let's think about the PlayStation user. You guys are.
We're talking about the Switch.
Hold on. But I just want to.
The Switch is doing something literally new.
I just want to get on the PlayStation. Like, y'all like, we're just happy always. Like, oh, PS1, cool. Oh, PS2. Oh, PS3, 4, 5, 6. Like, we're just gonna keep going down that route. Fucking every 8 years, just a new PS. Like, really? Where's the innovation in that? Just new graphics? That's it?
You haven't shown me any innovation from...
Push the envelope. What? We didn't show you innovation by giving you achievements, my nigga?
Achievements?
Hey,
is that what we're going back to?
You love trophies, right? You love trophies?
I don't love trophies, no. I play on the Switch.
Trophies.
I play on the Switch. There's no trophies. I play on the Switch. What are you talking about?
You love trophies. Hey, hold the fuck on. Ain't nobody. Hold on. I'm getting crushed. Hey, ain't nobody gonna tell me about the Switch being a leader and an innovator, bro. They're fucking re-releasing old-ass 20-year-old games and pushing them off as new. And
Mario Bros. Wii U is not 20 years old.
I don't want to hear shit about Nintendo ever. I'm done with Nintendo for life. We're not tired of Pokemon. 2 versions of Pokemon all the fucking time. Red, blue, green, white, black. Like, who gives a fuck?
And you're not tired of Forza?
Pokemon. Of what?
Forza every year. Forza Horizon, Forza Horizon, Forza Horizon, Forza Horizon.
Is it always the best racing game?
It's the only racing game because everyone else has moved on. Name another racing game.
Everybody gave up. Everybody gave up. They were like, we can't compete with these.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you one thing. What is the best racing game of the past? Best-selling racing game of the past several years?
Nah. See
what,
how he
what, what is?
Y'all saw that? What's the? Oh wait.
What's the best-selling? You're talking
Get
about?
out of here! I ain't even gonna answer that shit.
Okay then. Okay. You're saying everyone's moved on. You're saying everyone's moved on because Microsoft is killing it, but they're not killing it because they're being outsold.
Okay. Hold on. Everybody moved on, right? So where did Where did the Gran Turismo team move on to?
They're doing whatever they're doing. I'm not defending
What are
them.
they doing?
I'm not defending them. I don't play Gran Turismo.
I'm not telling you to defend them.
I'm defending Nintendo.
I'm just asking.
I'm defending Nintendo.
Okay.
I never see Sony not innovating.
What are they
I'm
innovating?
defending.
What are they innovating?
A little game called Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Trash. A game that like, oh, let's add 2 more characters and 2 more maps.
That's innovation.
Mario Party trash.
They added a rose gold peach.
Hey, let's fucking put Mario in a fucking giraffe costume on the next one. Fucking how innovative.
Has that been done before? Has it been done before?
Hey, let's do Link and let's make them talk after 20 years.
Has it been done before?
Fucking innovative.
I just want to say that I'm very surprised that Ed has not been fired, because I'm pretty sure the people at the job, hey, what the hell is he talking about in that bathroom? When did we get back here and
I'm
have
on
a
break.
conversation with him?
Go mop that floor.
I'm on break.
That's just right.
Hey, go mop up in aisle 7.
I'm in the office by myself. What can they say to me?
Uh-oh. Whoa.
I'm the boss around here, man. But yeah, man, all the innovations on Xbox, fuck Switch. And now at least give PlayStation props, because they be dropping some good shit. But Switch, I can't give no love, no props to Nintendo at all. I want to be known as a Nintendo fucking hater, because they are fucking garbage.
All I'm going to say is Mario Kart 8 on Switch has sold 15 million units. Which is more than every Forza game combined.
To me, I hear 50
more than every
stupid
Forza game combined.
50 million stupid idiots.
Damn. They re-released the game and it sold more than your entire franchise.
People. I can't believe there's 50 stupid million people on this earth. I can't.
Yo, that's sad.
It's
just as well Microsoft hiring, because they can't survive with 1010.
Switch. So we definitely got to get Ed a Switch for his birthday this year.
I would never play a Switch ever in my life.
Hey, when you're on a plane and you want to do some gaming, good luck with your Xbox One.
I'm gonna have xCloud.
You have
xCloud, bro.
Okay, I didn't know that works without Wi-Fi. Sorry, my bad.
Yo, you know what would be dope though? Like if Xbox made Game Pass like in like airline flights, like if they made it available.
You know what would be dope if they just didn't make anything. just make a new Microsoft Word. We're good. We have Sony. We have Nintendo. Make a new Excel.
They do need a new Microsoft Word though.
Put Office on the Switch. I'll be happy for that.
Yeah. All right. So that was excellent. That was an excellent debate. So if I believe that concludes our show for today. Unless there's anything else, unless of course there's anything else that y'all got to say. Y'all want to get out the system.
Yeah, hang up on this nigga.
Hey man.
Okay, we gotta continue. We gotta continue this on after hours.
Let's ban him again.
Yeah, we'll definitely continue this conversation later. But yeah, as I said, that concludes our show for today. We want to thank Carl.
No shout outs.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna give you a shout out. I definitely want to thank Carl and Ed for being on the show. And as for shout outs, how about you go first, Carl? Give your shout outs.
I want to go last if that's okay.
Okay. Ed, how about you go ahead and give your shout outs?
I want to go after Carl, if that's okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right. So, I'll give a shout out to everybody who checked out the show today. If you're listening live or you watch later, we appreciate your continued support. And now I'm going to go to Ed or Carl next, because Gary is the one that normally goes last. Unless you want to go next, Gary.
I mean, we can let them have the last word. I'm just, I'm gonna shout.
Okay.
the
Go ahead,
Patreon.
Gary.
I'm gonna shout out the Patreon supporters. So special thanks to Mr. M. Collins, Mauricio Aguilar, Kim Dill, Fergus Mills, Miguel, Antonio Rogers, and Sean Gority. Thank you all for your continued support. Look out for some giveaways and some extra content coming in the future. Big shouts to all the Koalition family and everyone at the Throwdown. Shouts to Ramiz, for being he's the other guy in our group chat. So we're always talking about video games and movies and other stuff.
And Overwatch.
Overwatch, yeah, we had a long conversation about that yesterday. Shouts to Assad Quadri as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, so who wants to go next between Carl and Ed?
I just want to thank you guys for having me on. I hope this lifts my ban permanently. I hope we can see After Hours come back.
Yeah, we do need to see that come back.
Give a shout out to Ruthless Kid, Ramiz, obviously, the whole Koalition, JJ, Dana, all the Melanin gamers out there. Just everyone.
Awesome. Okay, Ed. Final shout out.
Shout out to the 50 million Mario Kart 8 Deluxe players. Y'all some dumb motherfuckers, man. And but shout out to y'all for having us. We got hyped in here, just trying to entertain. Shout out to Fergus Mills. Fergus, forget that Anthem. Let's get the Division 2. That's my message to you.
Yeah, he was actually just in the chat talking about that earlier. So
yeah, he said he bought it already, but unfortunately for PS4. So Ed, you gonna have to.
All right, that's cool with me. That's cool. Stay on PS4 with that shit. But get the Division 2 on Xbox for real.
Why are Xbox guys so aggressive and divided?
First of all, Rich.
Love everyone.
Yeah.
All y'all got PS4s. We all got PS4s.
Love everyone.
Yeah,
Rich, how many times have you played PS4 with these guys?
Never.
Exactly.
Yeah, that hasn't happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm on Xbox. Hit me up. We can play. We play games on Xbox. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, he is right. So, I need to jump back on Xbox.
So I didn't know you were still playing Sea of Thieves. So.
Sea of Thieves.
I barely touch my PS4 these days, to be honest.
So yeah, just so everybody knows, Ed is correct. Ubisoft has says that the Division 2 it plays better on Xbox One X. So,
I would hope so.
And that's an official statement also.
It's the most expensive
you don't have
console.
to download a 98 gig patch.
That too. Yes, that's correct. All right.
I mean, Carl needs to put that 4K TV to use.
Hey man, I got a PC. I'm okay.
All right. So on that note, that concludes our show for this week. Hope that you all have a great week, and we'll talk to you all next weekend.
See me on Mario Kart.